Alright. So just remind me if in case you don't see the recording working. Okay. Fine. So before getting into the details of essay, it's very important for you to understand some general rules for writing, especially because it's a computer graded exam. You have to pay attention to these simple rules. If you pay attention to these simple rules, typically, normally, if you're good at writing, then you won't make such mistakes. But sometimes we overlook things, and then you might make these mistakes. Okay. Now, your aim should be while writing essay, your aim should be to write an essay where there are no errors that computer can catch. All right. So the first rule is regarding capitalization. So these are simple basic rules. So if you make mistakes in these simple rules, then computer will penalize you a lot. So first rule is regarding capitalization. So avoid wrong usage of capital letters. Always start a sentence with a capital letter. I, the letter I, the word I is always capitalized. Capitalize months, days, and holidays. October, Sunday, Independence Day. Capitalize cities, states, and countries. The next rule is regarding punctuation. End each sentence with a period, full stop. Now, these are simple rules that all of you know, right? But still, we see a lot of students making such simple mistakes. So these are something that computer can easily catch, and you shouldn't be making such errors. Use a question mark instead of a period when you ask a question. Put commas after at the right place. For example, if you are using introductory words like such as firstly, secondly, however, similarly. So such words, after those words, you have to put a comma. Now, when two meaningful sentences. So I went to a shop, I bought a pair of shoes. So these two are meaningful sentences, right? So when these two meaningful sentences are joined together with a conjunction, then also you need to put a comma before the conjunction. Use quotation marks whenever you quote someone. Okay, so as Daddy Smith said, the past is always tense and the future perfect. Okay, stop me if you are not following. Just let me know if this is all. So whatever we have discussed so far, is it all clear? So I will keep on asking this. So you need to ask questions in between. You need to stop me in between. So all clear so far? Capitalization, punctuation, simple rules. Why this is very important? These are very important because your writing is graded by a computer. Okay, so computer is a logical machine. So it is programmed to find out certain errors. So you should basically understand that you should not be making those errors that computer can easily catch. Grammar. Now, one good thing about PTE writing is that you don't have to be really finicky about grammar. You don't have to worry. You don't have to think that, okay, I'm not writing enough complex sentences, so let's make a complex sentence. So as long as you are writing a readable sentence, as long as you are what you are trying to communicate is put across in a meaningful way, you don't have to worry about grammar too much, because there are many grammar rules which you cannot even go through completely, even if you spend a lifetime. So you don't have to worry too much about grammar as long as your sentence is readable, as long as your sentence is meaningful, as long as what you're trying to communicate is put across meaningfully. You can stop worrying about grammar there. Now, few things, simple things again in grammar that you have to pay attention to is usage of articles, a and the. So use a before consonants, a house, a beautiful sight, and before vowels, an occasion, an expert. So when I say and before vowel, so you might have heard few words where you use, for example, are. Okay, the word are. What will you use before? What article will you use before this? And why? Right. So it's the sound that you have to pay attention to. Okay. So it's not the letter that you have to. So you have to see how it is pronounced. So what sound is coming out when you are pronouncing that particular word. So if that is a vowel, then you put a and before that word. Use the when we expect reader to identify the thing we are referring to. John bought the vacant house on Oak Street. John bought the vacant house on the Oak Street. Verb tense should match the meaning. So what does that mean? So last week we discussed written lecture and summarized spoken text. Today we are discussing essay. So the tense form should match the meaning of what you're trying to say. So these are things that computer can catch. Next week, complete it. Next week we will discuss. We will be discussing. Yes, both are right. Use pronouns wherever required. So tobacco consumption is not good for health. Tobacco consumption can cause cancer. So don't avoid repetition of these terms by using the appropriate pronoun. So instead of repeating the word again, it can use it. It can cause cancer. Again, simple rules. All right. Use adverbs and adjectives correctly. Her explanation was perfect. She explained perfectly. Okay, so these are the basic things that you have to understand in grammar. And then, of course, your sentence should be meaningful. You should not make any errors related to these. Is it clear to all of you? So I would like to see few yeses. If this is not clear, please say no. All right, super. Spelling. Okay. Now, avoid using both British and American convention in the same response. Within a response. So what do you mean by within one response? For example, if you are writing an essay, within that essay, you should not be using multiple conventions. So there is this British convention and then there is this American convention. So simple example is color in British convention is written as COLOUR, whereas in American convention it is COLOR. So if you are writing COLOUR, it means that you are following British convention. So throughout that essay, you should not be making any such convention error. So you wrote color at one place, and then if you write analyze as ZE, then that's problematic. So you should not switch between convention within a single response. So SC versus ZE is another one. So SC is typically British, ZE is American. Of course, you should know the spelling of basic words. That's one thing. But this is the convention that we are talking about. That, anyways, you should not make a mistake here. Few spelling errors are acceptable. So don't think that people who get 90 in writing do not make any spelling mistake at all. They also make mistakes. So few mistakes are acceptable. But all you should try to do is, what you should try to do is to minimize all these occurrences. Is this clear to all of you? Spelling convention? All right, so general rules for writing. Now, regarding sentence formation, sentences should have a subject and a verb. Participants in this meeting. Now, is it a complete sentence? Participants in this meeting are very much active. Is this a complete sentence? Yes. Is it a true statement? Do you think participants in this meeting are very much active? Okay, so please be active, guys. So after some time, you have to start writing essays. So we will be doing a group task. So yes. Now the other thing is break long sentences into chunks using appropriate punctuation. So it's always important that you have to, whatever you are writing, always assume that you are writing for someone, you are writing for some reader. Okay, of course your writing is graded by a computer, but always assume that you are writing for a reader. The reader has to clearly understand what you are trying to say, so make it as readable as possible, which is why if you are writing extremely lengthy sentence, you have to break it into chunks using appropriate punctuation so that reader can read it comfortably. Avoid run-on sentences. Convert those into small sentences. Now, what do you mean by run-on sentences? Any idea? Now, run-on sentences, run-on sentences are, so run-on sentences are those sentences that never seem to end. Okay, so that's such sentences you should completely avoid. Again, you might be trying to combine multiple ideas into one sentence, but if you feel that it's becoming a run-on sentence, then you should break it into chunks. Okay, so simple example. To commence with, some people may become harsh because they feel they can win by fighting because the lead role in the movie fights and win, but the reality is different. See, so this is a feature of run-on sentence where you use same connector multiple number of times, and then you use multiple connectors within a sentence. Okay, so because, but, because twice, and but. So such you should not make such errors. Is this clear to all of you? All right, super. Now, finally, it's very, very important that you should proofread whatever you are writing. It's very, very important. Now, why proofreading is important? Because the first time you write it, it may be your initial draft. Read it multiple number of times, read it aloud so that you hear it out, so that you understand, no, there is a problem here in this part. So you correct it. So it's very, very, very important, because again, imagine that you are writing for a reader. Your aim is to make it as readable as possible. All right, so let's try to do a proofreading here. You guys go through this and tell me wherever you find an error, wherever you see that a correction is needed. So third line, recently it is not only the adult, right? So this is not a meaningful sentence. So maybe the writer might wanted to, put a comma after this, as yeah, Elishma pointed out. So recently it is not only the adult. So if I change this full stop to comma, is it fine now? Or is there any error now? Small e, yes. Now these are simple things, but you have to ensure that you should not show such errors to computer. Hmm. Even the high school students or college students mock just because they want to know how it feels. Okay, fair enough. Mm-hmm. Healthy. So what should I change this to? Health. Okay. Becoming. Okay. Becoming a smoker is like. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like making someone just care about the good feeling of smoking and makes them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this sentence ideally should be broken. Agree. Okay. So yeah. So such, basically, the idea here is to uh, clearly understand. So now, because you are proofreading someone else's essay, it's very easy for you. You can easily find spot mistakes. Now, the same thing has to happen with your own essay. All right. So that is why writing is always a process. You have to get involved in that process. If you think that you don't write well, you have to start as soon as possible, because writing part can take a lot of time to improve. Anything else? I would request all of you to participate. So I can see Raj, Vijay, Mukul, Elishma. So all of you are participating. Good job. There should be comma after community. Spelling of terms. Yes. The long-term health costs are high for smokers themselves and for the wider community in terms of healthcare costs and lost productivity. The worst role to protect. Okay. The worst risk that smokers will face is lung cancer, which can cause death. The government have a legitimate role to legislate to protect citizens. Okay, legitimate role to legislate to protect. So you're saying you can avoid legislate. Okay. Protect citizens from the harmful effects of their own decisions to smoke. For example, there should be a comma. They make rules about no smoking area in the street and public places. Okay. Less productivity. Okay. The long-term health costs are high for smokers themselves and for the wider community in terms of healthcare costs and lost productivity. And less productivity. Okay. So, comma, less productivity, comma, lungs. It's lung cancer, Raj. Yeah. Whether WHETHER. But it is also, the decision. But it is also the decision of each individual whether they want to continue their life as a smoker and take all the risks, or stop and learn. Yeah. And take all the risks, or stop and learn to live healthier. Fair enough. So such simple corrections you should be able to do. Okay. So you don't have to do any advanced kind of sentences or anything. You can write a very simple explicit essay and still get 90. Okay. So that's something that you have to learn. All right. So coming to the essay. So in essay, as I said, you get a prompt. You will have about 20 minutes to think about this and then write a 200 to 300 word essay. Okay, so you have to basically follow all these rules that we have just discussed. That's very important. Now we'll discuss what an essay structure is. Okay, before that we have to understand the prompt structure. So there are three kinds of prompts. One is agree, disagree. In agree, disagree, you will see a general statement first. That is, for example, gambling is an activity which causes more harm than good and so should be banned, should be made illegal in all countries. Followed by this general statement, there will be a question. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? So there is a general statement, and post that statement, you have a question. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? And then support your point of view with reasons and or examples from your own experience or observation. So this is one way you get question. The second is your opinion plus sub questions. That is, as a result of advances in medical care, average life expectancy is increasing for men and women. Question 1, do you think most people will see this as a positive development? It's asking your opinion. What do you think? Do you think most people will see this as a positive development? Then you have further sub questions, follow-up questions. What are the disadvantages of an aging population for individuals and society? Support your point of view with reasons and or examples from your own experience or observation. And then there is a third type where the question is to discuss both the views plus your opinion. Here also you will get a general statement. Some people say that self-driving cars will be a benefit to society, while others believe they will cause more harm than good. So some people believe this, other people believe that. Discuss both of these views and give your own opinion using relevant examples. So these are the three ways in which you can get a prompt, get an essay question. But regardless of what way you get a question, you can just follow a simple structure and answer all the questions in the prompt and write a decent 200 to 240 words essay. Okay, so that's what we will see. Is this clear to all of you? The prompt, how prompt is designed? All right, super. Okay, 1 and 2. So this is 2, where you will have a general statement. Your opinion is anyways needed for all the three prompts. It's just that the way they are framing these prompts is slightly different. Okay, so in all the essays prompts, you will have to write your opinion. That's very important. So in this, you have extra questions also. So one is opinion, and then there is a follow-up question. Now understand that these are designed in a particular way. Okay, these are designed specifically to find out whether you are answering to the question. So you need to ensure that you read these questions clearly. You clearly understand the question. The first one, Elishma, is this one, where just gives a general statement and then ask to what extent do you agree or disagree with that. With that, you have to state examples. Is this clear, Elishma? In whenever you are writing an essay, you have to give examples. Always understand that. Here also understand that whenever you are writing an open-ended writing component, I mentioned this previously, that you are writing, imagine that you assume that you are writing for a reader. Here also, you have to understand that you are writing for a reader. Your aim is to convince the reader why you think so, what of your opinion. So to convince the other person, it's always important that you state examples. Okay, so in essays, examples are must. All right. So let's look at this question first. As a result of advances in medical care, average life expectancy is increasing for men and women. Do you think most people will see this as a positive development? What are the advantages and disadvantages of an aging population for individuals and society? Now, you have to read the prompt critically. You have to clearly understand in the first one or 2 minutes what the question is exactly asking. So as a result of advances in medical care, average life expectancy is increasing for men and women. Do you think most people will see this as a positive development? So can you tell me what is this here? What is this referring to? Yes. So most of you answered this correctly. A common mistake that many students make here is they read the first part of the sentence and then they think that, okay, oh, it's a medical care question, improvement in medical enhancement and medical care. So I should be writing a lot about medical technology, how it has evolved. That is where you are deviating from the topic. So always clearly understand that. That is why it's very important for you to clearly understand what the prompt is asking. So this refers to increase in life expectancy. As a result of advances in medical care, average life expectancy is increasing for men and women. Do you think most people will see this as in the increase in life expectancy as a positive development? Is this clear? So it's very important. So if you miss out on that point, then whatever you are writing will be more about medical technology. And a lot of students make this mistake. All right, so Raj, is it clear? All right, super. Now, so that is the first lesson. Read the prompt critically, clearly understand what the prompt is asking. Read each and every word in the prompt critically. Precisely target the questions in the prompt. Now, what are the questions in the prompt? Do you think most people will see this as a positive development? This is one question. What are the disadvantages of an aging population for individuals and society? This is another question. So your essay should contain explicit answers to these questions in the prompt. Think of 2 to 3 distinct ideas that answers the questions in the prompt. So do you think this, most people will see this as a positive development? So if you think increase in life expectancy is a positive thing, you have to support that statement with 1 or 2 main points, and then maybe give an example supporting one of the points. So think about 2 to 3 distinct ideas. Okay, so these ideas should be distinct, they should not overlap. Okay, it should be unique ideas. These points will be the topic sentences of your body paragraph. So what exactly is body paragraph? You will come to that. This is a general rule that you have to keep in mind when you are writing an essay. Try to write as explicitly as possible. So as I said, imagine you are writing for a dumb reader. The reader, your aim is to convince the reader that this is why you think so. So always make sure that the sentences are readable. It's explicit, nothing is implied there. So make it as explicit as possible so that the reader can just read it in one shot and clearly understand what you're trying to say. Okay, and most of these topics, essay topics that you get are like, I asked you to write a persuasive essay. You are trying to persuade the reader of your stand. You're trying to convince the reader of your stand. So always focus on such writing. Okay, so this is a sample answer for this particular essay. So let's just read this. So as medical care improves and life expectancy of men and women increases, there are a number of consequences that will arise for future generations. So what they have done in this first sentence is simply rephrased the statement, general statement in the prompt. And that is what you should do. That your first introductory paragraph should contain just 2 sentences. Okay, so now you don't have to think of these as like, strict rules. So if you write well, if you are creative, then I don't want you to restrict your creative writing in any way. These are simple things that you can keep in mind. Even if you're getting a difficult topic, if you just have a fallback structure, it will always help you. So if you are a good writer, just write it the way you write. Okay, maybe you show it to someone who can actually assess you. Otherwise, you will be putting a lot of constraint on yourself, and then maybe go worse from what your actual level is. So that should not happen. So introductory paragraph, 2 sentences. That's what they have. That's what you can see in this particular sample essay. As medical care improves and the life expectancy of men and women increases, there are a number of consequences that will arise for the future generation. Some of these will be beneficial, but some could cause issues. Clear sentences. So introductory paragraph is done. Now, when you end your introductory paragraph with such a sentence, no, that is what Elishma. So it's not compulsory. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to write only 2 sentences. No. So this is a basic structure. Okay, you can write more than 2 sentences also. Now, why is it helpful if you only write 2 sentences? Because as I said, your essays, your open-ended, any of these open-ended writing components is graded by a computer. Now, computer is a logical machine. Okay, so if you straightly if you don't deviate from the topic a lot, if you just focus on just 2 sentences, what happens when you write more than 2 sentences is you may deviate from the topic. You may write sentences that are not really required, which is why we typically recommend that keep it short, and your introduction you should be able to write very fast, which is why it's very easy to write introduction, because all you are doing is rephrasing the statement in the prompt and then stating your opinions. So you're saying that some of these will be beneficial, but some could cause issues. So when you end your introductory paragraph with such a sentence, what you're trying to do is in the future paragraph, in the next paragraph, you're going to explain why these are beneficial and what are the issues that it could cause. Okay. Most people would like to live longer, provided they can maintain a good quality of life. So we are going to talk about the benefits of it. This requires good health, money, and desire to participate in an active lifestyle. Some elderly people have had the opportunity through their working life to save for their retirement, while others may be fit, healthy, and enthusiastic about working well into their 60s or 70s. For all these people, living longer is likely to be a positive experience. What is the question? There's a question here, right? Do you think most people will see this as a positive development? For all these people, living longer is likely to be a positive experience. So a clear, explicit answer to that question is given, isn't it? Yes, no? All right. Now, there are other questions, right? What are the disadvantages for an aging population for individuals and society? Now, I told you that you have to read each and every word in the prompt critically. Now, what happens when you read, most of you, okay, most of the test takers make this mistake. They read this as, okay, what are the disadvantages of aging population? So they just focus on the disadvantages. But if you read the sentence completely, you will clearly see that it's asking what are the disadvantages of an aging population for individuals and society. So sometimes students, test takers may overlook these part and may not even address that part. They will just focus on disadvantages of an aging population. So it's very important that you read each and every word critically. So if you look at the third paragraph, you will see that, however, there are other elderly people who have not been able to provide for their old age, who, despite improved medical care, struggle to lead a healthy life. My grandfather, for example, was a builder all his life. He never managed to save for his retirement, and despite medication to stabilize his health problems, he is unable to continue working. For him, old age is a constant worry. So, what part is answered here? What are the disadvantages of aging population for individuals? Will there be reduction in marks if you write some words repetitively? So repetition, avoid repetition as much as possible, Elishma. Sometimes you may not be able to avoid repetition, especially if it's a keyword that is asked in the prompt. But try to avoid as much as possible. Maybe within the same sentence, try to avoid repetition. Within two nearby sentences, try to avoid repetition. Okay, so is this clear? For him, old age is a constant worry. So what part is answered here? Disadvantages of aging population for individuals. Now there is a society part. As far as society is concerned, so they are clearly trying to answer the society part as well. Another negative consequence of people living longer is the effect this could have on the workplace. Currently, most people retire in their 60s, and this allows the younger generation to move into jobs they have left. As people stay on at work, the turnover of jobs declines and making it more difficult for younger people to get work. And then finally, you have a conclusion statement. On balance, I believe that improving medical care in order to extend life expectancy is a good thing. So they are again repeating that, convincing the reader, see, this is what I believe in, telling the reader that this is what you believe in. However, governments must ensure that young people are not deprived of jobs and that all people who cannot support themselves are well looked after. Now, conclusion, if you look at the conclusion, in conclusion, there is no new idea, no extra ideas. Whatever you have mentioned in the body paragraph is summarized in the conclusion. You can even just write a one sentence summary. That's completely fine. Vijay, so just to make it easy, is it a good idea that for each question I create a heading and then provide information? So avoid writing headings. Don't do that. Maybe for your understanding, you can put a heading and then write, but then come back and then change those headings, delete those headings. Don't write. Uh, so in an essay, that is not really permitted. In a standard essay structure, that is not really permitted. And also avoid pointers. So some people they write as 1, 2, 3 points. Okay, advantages 1, 2, 3, disadvantages 1, 2, 3. No, don't do that. Okay, so your writing is tested. So how will you can construct sentences? How can you move from one idea to the another? How can you transition from one argument to another argument? So all these are tested here. So you have to write complete sentences. Is this clear to all of you? Do you all get a basic rough idea? So basically, your intent should be very simple here. Your aim is to convince the reader, write as explicitly as possible so that it is readable. The reader just reads it and understands it in one shot. Make sure that you answer all the questions in the prompt. Make sure that you critically read the prompt, each and every word in the prompt. All right. So are you guys ready to write an essay? Okay, so we'll go step by step. We will first look at introduction. So we have all these steps listed out here, what exactly you have to do in all of these so that we can write. Okay, so read the prompt. Schools should prepare students for university rather than work. How far do you agree with this statement? Support your point of view with reasons or examples from your own experience or observation. All right, so let's quickly write introduction. So introduction, as I stated, so it's a simple structure that we are discussing. Okay, rephrase the statement in the prompt. So let me see some of you how you will rephrase this statement. Don't overthink. All you have to do is to rephrase the statement in the prompt. As I mentioned, you can be creative. You can think of okay how to start. Think of writing it in a very beautiful way. If that is not taking time for you, completely fine. But if that's taking a lot of time, don't resort to that. Just focus on rephrasing the statement in the prompt, because whatever extra that you're doing is not going to really fetch you extra points. Okay, so we have Lakshmi's response here. Rather than work, the schools are preparing the students for university. Schools are generally trying to prepare students for work. Ideally, they should rather prepare students for university instead of work. Okay, so good sentences, both. I would like to see a few more. So ideally, they should rather. So you can avoid rather there. So ideally, they should prepare students for university instead of work. Or you can just say they should rather prepare students for university. So rather, instead, if you use multiple things that conveys the same meaning, avoid doing that. Raj, it is always better if school is preparing students for university than to prepare for work. Okay, so that is your opinion, right, Raj? So you're saying that it is always better if school is preparing students for university. So I'm asking you to give a statement before that. Elishma, instead of focusing on work, school should be focusing on preparing students for university. Aisha, schools should focus on preparation of students for university instead of profession. Okay. So what I will do is I will just, let's take, Elishma's sentence and then maybe write a, so your starting sentence should be a neutral sentence. So you should not be using words like should be, must be, will be. You try to use a tentative language or maybe try to give a general sort of argument. For example, if I have to rephrase Elishma's sentence, so instead of focusing on work, schools these days are preparing students for university. Something like this. So I would change focusing on work also. Instead of preparing them for work, schools these days are helping students to gain university admission. Something like that. You have to write a neutral sentence. Is it clear to all of you? And then after that, you have to write your statement, you write your opinion, which some of you have already written. Okay, so can you just now rephrase and then write? Okay, schools are very important in students' life as they can prepare for higher education rather than for work. The sentence as such is good. So what Jinu is trying to say here is schools are very important in students' life as they can prepare for higher education rather than for work. Hmm. So Jinu, what exactly are you trying to say here by using that latter statement rather than for work? So are you trying to say schools are very important in a student's life because they do not focus on work, only focus on higher education? So that's the meaning that I'm able to understand from it. But that is not really the question, right? Okay, so if I have to maybe, just focus on rephrasing Jinu's sentence, schools are, schools play an important role. Schools play an important role in a student's life as they can prepare them for higher education as well as yeah. So that's something that's more better. That's much better. Schools play an important role in a student's life as they can prepare them for higher education as well as for work. Hmm. Fair enough. Now, state your opinion. Play an important role. Okay, so role I missed. Please consider that as role. I hope you understood. Your first sentence, not first line, first sentence should be a neutral sentence. Second sentence should be your stand. So how far do you agree with this statement? You can even write as simple as I completely agree with this statement, or you know, I feel I feel that, or I believe that, and whatever you are, think, you can support both the ideas. Yeah, I feel that schools should prepare students for both university and work. You can say that also. Yeah, in Lishma, instead of preparing for a job, instead of preparing for job, schools are preparing students for higher studies. In my opinion, students should be prepared for both university and work rather than focusing on one sector alone. Fair enough. So again, you have to write simple, clear, explicit sentences. Okay, so you should not, again, the reason such a simple structure will help you write an introduction paragraph within 1 minute. So if you just, otherwise what happens is you will just keep on thinking, and then you may even spend up to 5 minutes for writing that introduction paragraph. And whatever you write in introduction, maybe extra things, it may not be answering any questions that is there in the prompt. So you are giving more importance to off-topic elements, which is why keep your introduction very short. Try to write it in 1 minute. If you can, you will be able to do so if you just stick to a format, that is rephrase the statement in the prompt, state your opinion. So in standard essay structure, you always end your first paragraph by stating your opinion. You come back to conclusion and then again state that in a different way. So the last sentence of your first paragraph is known as thesis statement. So what is the importance of this thesis statement? You're straight away telling the reader that, hey, this is what I believe, and I am going to convince you with my points in the next few paragraphs. Okay, so always take a clear stand. So last sentence of your first paragraph, take a clear, explicit stand. This is clear, Raj? Though I think, Vijay, though I think a basic preparation about work in school is good enough. However, think schools should focus more than 90% on preparing students for higher education. Okay, so what you're trying to say, Vijay, here is, though I think a basic preparation, though I think students should be trained to gain some work skills, the main focus should be to help them prepare for university. Is that what you meant, Vijay? Yeah. So again, making it more readable, making it more explicit is something that you keep on constantly trying to achieve. Okay, so that will happen once you start writing more and more. You can even follow what Ginu has written in the following essay. I would like to discuss how it can be beneficial for students. So you can say that schools, you can rephrase this statement, and you can even write what Ginu has written, that in the following essay, I would like to discuss how it can be beneficial for students. Okay, so different formats. All the aim of all these sentences should be to convince the reader. So that's something that should always be there in your mind. Okay, especially when you are aiming for 79 plus. Try to write as much as on your own. Okay, there are predefined sentences that a lot of people use, but understand that it's artificial intelligence that's grading your essay. So at some point, all these data is that computer uses. Okay, so many people will be using the same essays over and over and over. So computer can easily flag those essays. So if you're aiming for a very high score, I would recommend you to write your own essays. Okay. So in the body paragraph, you're going to mention why you think so. So you have taken a stand that, right? Some of you have taken a stand that schools should prepare students for university. Some of you have taken a stand that schools should prepare students for work. So why do you think so? That is what you are going to mention in body paragraph. Again, you are trying to convince the reader. So state your reason one. So I think most of you have taken the stand that uh, schools should focus more on university. So why do you think so? Give me one reason why you think so. So Sheila, it offers students a broader perspective of life. Now that's a very good, unique, distinct idea. So you can maybe try to expand that sentence. So how will you expand that? Okay. So just to help you, Sheila, so maybe you can think of writing this as university education or university life is that phase of your life where a student, where where someone gains a broader perspective of life. Yeah, Vijay, so we are focusing on one sentences each. So just we have to try to complete it. Okay, fair enough. We can. So Jinu, I strongly feel, okay, I strongly feel that school can train students to face the challenges that come across their future. Okay. Mm-hmm. Vijay's first sentence, during study phase, most of the students are not much clear about their capabilities and interests. Capabilities and interests of young students are still developing when schools start preparing them for work. So you have taken a work stand, is it? They should prepare them for work. With university education, a student gets more knowledge and I only need one idea, guys. Okay, so when school prepared students for higher education, they can not only get ready to perform the job but also create jobs. University education has become more a compulsion rather than a necessity. The schools and universities are working with commercial motive these days. Okay. Okay, so let me ask you once again. My question here is: you have taken a stand. So you have taken a stand that could be schools should prepare students for university, or schools should prepare students for work, or schools should prepare students for both work and university. My question is: just give me one idea. Why do you think so? So Sheila, exposure part was clear. So you said you saying that at university one gains a perspective of life, right? Different perspective of, they gain different perspective of life is what you've mentioned. Jobs, Elishma, jobs these days are very competitive and require higher education qualifications. So there are high chances that students will pursue further education and focus on jobs after earning a university degree. Okay, so jobs these days, so getting a job these days very difficult and require higher education qualifications. So there are high chances that students will pursue further education and focus on jobs after earning a university degree. So that idea is very clear. That is, so what Elishma is trying to say here is a university degree is required these days because to get a job in this competitive world is very difficult, and that might require ask you to ask for higher qualification. So that's your idea, right, Elishma? Yes. Okay. Sheila, with university education, a student gets more knowledge and okay, so with university education at a university, a student will be able to gain more knowledge and explore even more. With university education, a student gets more knowledge and explore. Okay, same thing. When a student gets more exposure, he ultimately searches for better ways to lead their life and can reach to a higher level. When a student gets more exposure, he searches. So same sentences you are repeating, or you are showing multiple ways of writing the same sentence, Sheila? Vijay, in school, students are young to prepare for life. Very next goal is to reach the university. So what I gather from all of your responses is that, so I think most of you have taken the stand that for university. So I will take some of your answers. That is, one is, so Sheila mentioned that competitive um, job market, getting a job is difficult. University education is a must, right? So nowadays, university education is a must because of the competitive job market. Getting a job these days is very difficult, and most of these job requirements ask you to have a higher educational qualification. So that's number one reason why university education, why schools should prepare students for university. So you can take the next sentence is that, so if school try to build basic skill levels for a student to survive in a university, it would be highly beneficial, something like that. Is this clear? So reason one, you have to give a clear reason why you think so, and maybe support it with an example. Is this clear? Okay, I will wait for a few more yeses. If because it's somewhat tricky because essay we are trying to complete it in one and a half hours. So I also have to ensure that you get it correct. Otherwise, it will be problematic. So the point here is simple. That is, in body paragraph, first body paragraph, you are trying to convince your reader with the first reason. So the first reason that we have seen here is it's a competitive job market these days. Getting a job is difficult, so university education is a must. Right. The more clear you idea you have, better it is, Raj. It's always that for anything, right? So here also the story is not different. So you state the reason, give an example to support the reason. Now, can you think of any example that could support this point? Example can be personal. Yes, Gino. Yes, because it clearly states example from your own experiences or observations. So can you support this with statement with an example? So this is basically an outline that we are discussing. Okay, so do you have any such personal example? You can think of your own. You can take any incident from your own life, or you can think of something that has happened to your friend. Any example? Okay, so Elishma, so that's a generic example, uh, general example. So can you make it more personal, as in? I know few people from my childhood who started working during their school life, did not reach to university ever. They could not excel much in life. Yes. So, for example, some of my friends from childhood who started working during their school life, they did not attend universities, and then they were not able to excel in life. Lakshmi, my friend who completed his school and joined a job. My friend completed his schooling and joined a job, but during a promotion for a higher post, he was denied promotion as he did not have a university degree. Again, these are like personal examples. Understood, Elishma. So what you have stated is a general example. It's always better if you can give a specific example. Good. So you support that one reason with an example. And then if you do you have any other reason why schools should help students to gain admission for university? Why schools should prepare students for university? What is the other reason? So one reason is that to survive in this world, in this difficult competitive world, one definitely needs a university degree. So that is one reason why schools should prepare. What is the other reason? Okay, so Elishma has come up with an example. For instance, I tried to search for vacancies right after my schooling, but I could not find any. But now, after I am graduated from university, I see ample of vacancies that suits my educational background. Fair enough, Elishma. but then make sure that you're not writing too much also. It's always better if you write just one sentence or at the max two sentences when you're supporting. For example, I made an remarkable article error. Okay, so avoid showing such mistakes to computer. For example, I made a remarkable experience. I had a remarkable experience in my job after I completed my university degree. Okay. Okay. So maybe Jinu, what you're trying to mention here is because I had a university degree, I got a better job once I graduated. Something along those lines. Okay, fine. So make it clear, because if you read that sentence, that's not meaningful. That's not clear. And then there are article errors also, which is very very bad according to a computer. Article errors you should not show to a computer. Okay, so university. So this is your second point, Elishma. University will enable students to learn more concepts and theories, which will help them at their workplace. Without university education, students will lack the competence and have difficulty performing activities. So to gain more in-depth knowledge about theories, students need to join. Okay. So this reason is actually very clear. That is, the second reason is theories, in-depth understanding of in-depth understanding of theories and concepts. So basically, one gains an in-depth understanding of theories and concepts at a university. So if a school helps a student to gain those skills that will help them understand the subject better, it would be highly beneficial. So that's a good example, Elishma. That is clearly a different idea from what you have stated previously. The first statement was, it's a difficult world out there, difficult to get job, university education is a must. Second is, if you want to gain an in-depth understanding of theories and concepts, you must attend a university. So schools again should prepare students for university. Fair enough. Vijay, for example, I do not see any colleague in my workplace who did not complete their university. This is also a good example, Vijay. But yeah, there are spelling errors. University spelling is wrong. After colleague spelling is wrong. After school, the option on job are limited. And also the students would be in a dilemma, not able to take a decision to understand their needs and interests as they are juvenile. Sorry. After school, the option on a job are limited. Yeah, so this is the same idea, Lakshmi. So the first idea that we discussed was, it's a difficult world out there. Getting job is difficult. Any position will require a higher qualification, which is why all of these schools should help students prepare for university. I think all of you are at a different level now. So we have discussed introduction, we have discussed body paragraph reason 1. The reason 1 is explained. Example was also explained. Now we are talking about reason 2, in-depth understanding of theories and concepts. That's a second idea. Now body paragraph 2, you can think of counterclaim. Okay, or why others think the other way around. Okay, so if you are taking a stand that universities should prepare students for, schools should prepare students for university, think of the other aspect of it. It's just to tell the reader that, see, hey, I have thought about the other side of it. That is, a school should also focus on, so I think if I am taking the stand, if I am explaining in my body paragraph 1 that schools should help students to prepare for university, in body paragraph 2, you are telling the reader that I have thought about the other side also. That is, having said that, a school must also provide opportunities to students to help them gain skills that will help them for a work in future, something like that. Is this clear, understood? Counter claim wala paragraph. University education helps students to find their areas of interest or what they are good at. Also, some may go for researches, which ultimately helps. Huh. Okay. However, all parents may not be able to afford for university education. Also, the necessity of family for a job may be more pertinent than a higher education. This is a major reason that schools should prepare students for work also. Very good point, Lakshmi. So this is a counterclaim. So if we were talking about why schools should prepare for students for university in the first body paragraph, in second body paragraph you talk about why it should also focus on work. There, Vijay, yeah, there may be students who cannot reach to university for some reason, but in such cases, some work-related study in schools can help students utilize the help. Again, very good point, Vijay. Okay, so you can say that, okay, Raj, some may think it is all about earning and it is better to start working early. Oh, that's actually a good point, Raj. So on the other hand, there are many people who think that it's all about earning eventually. So why not start early? That's what you're trying to say, Raj, isn't it? Good, good. However, jobs now are very demanding and wants experienced candidates for its position. So, schools should also focus on preparing students for jobs as students might involve in part-time jobs along with attending classes in universities. Okay. So, schools should also focus on preparing students for jobs by making them, involved in some part-time work along with attending class. Okay, fair enough. Jobs now are very demanding and want experienced candidates. Okay, so earning such an experience at a school level will actually help them, showcase that in their resume or something. So you can expand on that. So right now we are only focusing on ideas, and I think you fairly got the idea. Is it clear so far? So introduction, idea, two ideas supporting why you took that stance with an example of one clear idea. And in the third paragraph, you talk about the counterclaim, why others think so, or why a few people think the other way around. Okay, you may or may not give an example for this particular reason, so that's up to you. Uh, Also, it's always better if you could weaken that reason. Now, what do you mean by weakening that reason? So now let's say Elishma has taken the stand that schools should prepare students for university. Yeah, that's rebuttal, Lakshmi. Yes. So you should, try to convince the reader of your stand. Okay, this is why I believe that schools should prepare students for university. Now, when you're going to state the counter claim, you should not make it strong, really strong, stronger than your, actual ideas, original ideas supporting your claim, which is why you can weaken that reason, which is why you should weaken that reason. Okay, so this is more critical when you write a formal essay. Uh, if you can write it, better here also. This is known as rebuttal. So you state one reason. So Uh, so Elishma's argument was that the jobs these days are very demanding and they ask for experienced candidates. So if schools can prepare students to help them gain some work related skills such as better communication or something, then that will help them a lot. How will you weaken that reason? By stating that, however, the primary aim of a school should be to help them for university. Huh. So again, if you are writing this as a rebuttal, then maybe you are repeating the same thing that you have stated in the first paragraph, Lakshmi. So you have to be extremely careful to avoid repetition of ideas. Is the rebuttal part clear to all of you? Weakening the reason. So I would like to see if you're not clear, please feel free to say so, because I'm pretty sure that one session may not be enough. Yeah. So see, what is your aim? Your aim is to convince the reader of your stand. Now, what is your stand? Let's say you have taken a stand stating that uh, schools should prepare students for university. Let's say you have taken such a strong stand. In such case, you are trying to convince the reader why you took such a strong stand by giving two reasons, one reason with an example. And you're also telling the reader that, see, I have thought about the other angle also. I have thought about the other side also. This is the other side. But this, but if you cannot focus more on work, because 90% of the time a school should involve students in activities that will help them gain a university education. Now, if you have taken a neutral stand, Elishma, for example, Elishma, I think you have taken a neutral stand where you say that, where you're saying that they should prepare students for both school, both university and work. Then rebuttal does not make sense, which is why this is optional. Okay, it depends on what stand you take. Okay, so weakening that reason is very optional. It depends on what stand you have taken. You can explain two reasons. If you have taken a neutral stand, as in if you are batting for both university and work, you can state two reasons for each stand. Yes. If if you are getting enough ideas in that time frame, good enough. Now, there could be a possibility of third body paragraph if there are extra questions in the prompt. Now, in this particular essay structure, there is no there is no extra question, right? So, in the previous essay that we saw that what are the advantages of aging population to individuals and society. So here there is no extra question, so this is again optional. Just state one reason. Just state one. Just state just write one sentence that precisely answer that extra question. In this case, there is no extra question, so that is optional. Conclusion. Now, conclusion is very important. This you understand very clearly. In conclusion, you don't. What you should do is you should summarize points in the body paragraph. Remind readers of your claim. What was your claim? Supporting and opposing reasons. That's it. Do not introduce any new idea in the conclusion paragraph. So maybe towards the end you got one idea, one extra idea. So don't think that okay, I will just add this as the last sentence. No. Okay, so you're trying to convince the reader. You clearly stated your opinion in the first paragraph itself. Then you are going to state reasons. Hey, this is my first reason why I think school should prepare students for university. This is my second reason why I think school should prepare students for university. This is an example. I have also thought about in the third paragraph, you're going to tell the reader that I have also thought about the other side of it. This is the other side. You may or may not provide another idea. It's up to you. You can maybe give an example. Up to you. And in conclusion, what you do is you just summarize whatever you have mentioned in your body paragraph. Is this clear to all of you? All right, super. So that's it. I mean, so if you can write this essay, what you could do is you can write this essay uh, and then mail your answers. I will be happy to review it, but do so before 16th of June. That's a good question. That's a good thing. So here is a question. All right. So I think let's wind up. There are a few more things that I wanted to tell you, but then we don't have enough time now, because if we start now, we won't be able to finish it before 9. So maybe in our next week session, we will start from where we left today. But this is, do you think this, gives you a basic, good enough idea about how to write an essay? So um, if you think that you have not written many essays in the past, you should involve you should actually start writing more and more essays, so just so that you can write clear sentences within like uh, 15 minutes or so, and then spend the rest 5 minutes just to proofread. Okay, so keep it simple. Your job is to convince the reader. So that's something that you have to always keep in mind. How many essays you get about? You get 1 or 2 essays, maximum 2. That's it. No problem, Gino. Do you have any questions on whatever we've discussed so far? All right. So if there are no questions, then we'll wind up the session. Okay. So make sure that you invest time in attempting that mock test, a PT diagnostic test. So that's something that you should be doing. Okay. So I think it's here. Let me just take that. All right, guys. So if you have no more questions, what we will do is we will wind up the session. And I mean, you can actually, complete the essay part and then email it to me. So if you, right now, I think you already have points in your mind. So I think it's better if you can just write it now itself and then send it. You may not get an instant review, but I will be able to review it within 48 to 72 hours. Yeah, so if you have already essay, you can just email it to ambarish@fountainheadprep.com, Sheila. All right. All right, good session, guys. All of you were interactive. So thank you so much for that. So expect you guys be as interactive in the future sessions as well. All right, so I think on that note, we will wind up the session. So let's meet next week. So I look forward to your essays. All right, bye guys.